Hey everybody, Joe Haygood here, aka MC Lazy J, as my hair is completely tossed over. Apologies for that. I thought about putting my hat on and I just didn't feel like it, so just getting hat hair for this afternoon. I did not put together a vlog last week. I apologize for that. That's why I'm trying to put this one together a little early. Basically, I was recording a vlog, but I think I was just so exhausted from my work week by the time I got to Wednesday on the way home. It seemed like I was spouting nonsense towards the end of it, and it wasn't very good. And I realized, did I just mention something about, weird, like, British monarchy stuff from the 1800s without any rhyme or reason? So just weird stuff, and I was like, my mind's just not here, and I keep getting distracted. I see stuff as I'm driving, and my mind goes in another direction. So I decided to scrap that thing, delete it, and come back fresh this week. So I don't have a ton of stuff to go over. So I do, work's been going well. It's a little busy right now. I had a bunch of stuff sort of fall on my desk. I went from being way ahead on a lot of stuff to oh shit, I've got these 3 things that are slowly creeping up on me. I felt like I had more time with them, but I have 2 weeks to finish them. So I have a website update that is pretty much ready to go live. I had some people that asked me to change some stuff the last minute, so I had to get with a contractor and we kind of went over it. And thankfully, they didn't want to bill me extra for a revision at literally the ready to launch stage. So that was cool. It wasn't a heavy duty feature, so I think that's why they were kind of all right, but really, dude, we need to start talking about launching this thing. It's I know, man, I know. So I'm hoping they want to go live this week. I think it might happen next week, just because reasons, I guess, best way to put it. So I will definitely be keeping busy with that. I didn't, gaming wise, I had a bad week with streaming, I'll be honest. My week got thrown off by a few things. I ended up being out of the office longer than I thought on Tuesday, so I lost a stream there. I had some bandwidth issues that were happening at work that I couldn't figure out. It was only affecting my streaming stuff. I started having these massive packet drops, and I don't know what happened. And the thing I really can't make sense of today is that my streaming clock seemed off. YouTube has my stream clocked at 58 minutes, but I could have swore in Streamlabs, my clock at the end of the stream was an hour and 7 minutes. So that's weird, and I don't know how to... I'm trying to figure out where the loss came from. Did I have a reconnection issue that I didn't notice? But normally that ends up creating a separate stream file. I did notice that my stream, when I was monitoring on my phone went black, normally meaning that a video is not playing. So I don't know. I might just have to go through the stream and see if it kind of blows up in some place. So there might be a delay on time stamping that one, but we'll see what happens. That's with the Phoenix Wright one I was doing today. It's just really weird. There's literally almost 9 minutes of missing time in that stream. So it's very strange. I've never seen something like that without seeing 2 physical stream files being created. So I might have to go back and look at it, but I'm pretty sure I watched it from beginning to end, or at least scrolled through it. And I saw my beginning intro, I saw my outro at the end. So I'm and I kind of scrolled through and I was I don't see anything where there's a weird glitch jump or anything. But I can see my timestamps being off. By the time I get to the 30-minute mark, I'm okay, this is 6 minutes off now. So It definitely happened somewhere between like 14 minutes and like 32 to 34 minutes in the stream. So I have an area I can look at, but it's weird. But yeah, I don't have anything finished. I have been playing a lot of Far Cry 4 off stream. It's a game I finished. I actually finished the PC version on stream years ago. I finished it on Twitch. I don't even know if I have archived streams for that one. Back when I was streaming on Twitch before I switched over to YouTube. And I don't know why. Like, it's a game, like, yes, I have finished this game to completion. But for some reason, it's just been staring at me. They did an upgrade to Xbox Series X and S. I don't know what they changed, really. I mean, it does load faster, I will say that. But, you know, I mean, graphically, it already looked like a pretty high-end game. But I also like Pagan Min as an interesting foil. But we will, you know, like I said, I've been playing it. There's something about going around, taking out outposts, collecting towers, all that kind of stuff. It's just a ton of fun to just do those kind of random things. So yeah, I am enjoying that game still. It's interesting because right now I have to have so many dang Far Cry games installed on my Xbox. I did finish 5. I did finish 6. I noticed, I think they revamped 5 as well to an Xbox Series X and S. But I already finished that on the Xbox, and I streamed that one and all that good stuff. So I'm like, Far Cry 6, I think I streamed some of that, but not all of it. Maybe I streamed some of it, but not all of it. I don't know. I'd have to go back and look. But yeah, like I have Far Cry 3, the remastered version they put out. Far Cry Blood Dragon remaster, which they put out. Far Cry 4, the aforementioned Far Cry 4. Far Cry Primal, which at some point I need to go back to because, like, I started playing it and I got into it and then I don't know why I walked away. And it's the most intriguing of all the Far Cry games because it's like, it is strange and novel in comparison to like the others because it's like we're taking away the guns, we're taking away a lot of this other stuff, and we're going to leave you with, you know, the rudimentary basics of, you know, using weapons. You know, it's basically, yeah, I think you have bows and you have freaking melee weapons, and that's kind of it. But it's the idea of exploring, like, you know, it starts off in this weird way and you have like the cannibals and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, I've been searching for a game to play on my work break. So maybe I'll throw like Far Cry Primal in there. I don't want to restart it again because I did restart it a while back, but I'm like, God, do I really want to go through all that tutorial stuff again? That being said, I might have to just to remember how to play the game. But, and then I reinstalled Far Cry New Dawn. Because I will admit, it is a game I did not finish. And I actively chose to like bounce off that game. I was not enjoying it at all. Like, it was not an enjoyable experience for me. I was really not enjoying the experience because, like, that game required you to do a lot of like, oh, you have to do these upgrades. And if you don't do these upgrades, you can't move forward. And so you had to like collect these resources that allowed you to do upgrades. But the upgrades were so like the stuff you needed to get, it literally meant like, oh, you have to go through and redo these outpost missions over and over. Like it was designed in a way it's like, oh yeah, reset the outposts, reset the outpost, reset the outpost. So you can do them again and again. And it's like, I don't want to do these again and again. I should just be able to get the resources I need from the map. I shouldn't have to go through this process that you've created. I know there's people out there, they added it to Far Cry 4. And I think they had it in Far Cry 5. And I think they even had it in Far Cry 6, where you had the option to reset outposts if you wanted to like do leaderboard stuff, difficulties, harvest more resources, etc., etc. But there were enough resources you could gather in the game that you didn't need to participate in that if you did not choose to or want to. And like Far Cry New Dawn is like literally I have unlocked a chunk of the map that I think is available to you until you finish a specific mission. And yeah, I need more resource. And it's like the only way I'm going to do this is if I go through and reset an outpost or two and then reconquer them again. And it's just very annoying. It's like, I went through all the work of getting this thing, and now you're saying I got to go back and do it again to get the outcome, my preferred outcome, I guess I should say. And it just leaves me a little sour. So yeah, other than that, like I said, I've been playing a lot of Far Cry 4. It's kind of supplemented a lot of my time with Rocket League. And then I even was dabbling around with Marvel Midnight Suns because I'd really like to finish that game. I'm kind of at a pivotal moment in the game where I know I'm near the end. I believe I have about 3 story missions left, maybe 4, including the one I'm on. But I really got stuck on this Crossbones mission where I'm supposed to defeat him, and I'm in the second stage of the battle where you're fighting him, but he's set this bomb off or set this bomb up, and I couldn't figure out what I was doing wrong. And it kept saying like, I even went so far as to start searching into hint guides because I was like, I don't understand this. What am I missing? And like, I found out later that I must have had a glitch that was happening in the session I was playing. It got me very frustrated. I quit it for a while. And I don't know if a patch fixed this afterwards or if it was just, like I said, it was a glitch in the system. But you're supposed to, every round, refreshment troops come out. So while you're fighting Crossbones, you've got these reoccurring waves. And they normally come with 2 soldiers at a time, depending on how many that you've wasted in the previous round. But in each round, you're supposed to have one of those soldiers carry a card to delay the inevitable explosion. Problem was, when I was playing it, I wasn't getting any cards that would delay the explosion. I would beat all these troops and I wouldn't get anything. And then it would be like, hey, you failed the mission. And I'd be like, well, what am I supposed to do? And I'd read these guides online like, oh yeah, you're supposed to sacrifice these cards. It's like, I'm not getting these cards. These cards you are mentioning are not showing up in my game. Like, I am literally not seeing these delay timer or delay countdown cards show up when I defeat these scrubs. And sure enough, come to find out, yes, there was a glitch. Yes, you were not getting the cards you were supposed to. You were getting this error or this glitch where the cards weren't showing up on the troops that were showing up. So I might bring that back in, but I might decide to try to beat the tombstone fight first before I bring it back on. Because the last thing I want to do is have people watch me play through the same content for an hour at lunch and make no progress whatsoever. It's very annoying. But yeah, gaming exploits have been interesting. My wife's been playing a lot of Power Washer. She realized she didn't do almost any of the Muckenham or Muckenham files, whatever those are. She thought she had done them, but she found out like, oh no, I'm missing like a bunch of these. I haven't done them. So she's all excited. She's got like at least 10 or 11 more like maps to complete in there. They don't give out achievements, so she's a bit bummed about that, but I'm like, yeah, the free ones don't give anything. Like, there was Final Fantasy stuff, but it didn't give you anything. So, but she's really excited about Power Wash Simulator 2, which is coming out. I don't remember if that's dropping on Game Pass Day 1 or not, but I have a feeling she's going to end up buying it. Just because she has invested so much time in that franchise up to this point, that I think to her, it's just an investment. It's like, look, I've spent, like, if you went and looked at her playing cards, she has spent countless hours playing Power Wash Simulator. Just like 100%ing every map that she does, trying to get all the achievements. She bought all the DLC that was purchasable. The Alice in Wonderland, the Back to the Future, SpongeBob. I mean, hell, she bought the Warhammer stuff, and she doesn't even follow Warhammer. She was just like, I don't know what any of this stuff is, but I'm cleaning it. So I thought that was really funny. But yeah, so I have a feeling one way or another. If it's on Game Pass, she'll be like, great. If it's not on Game Pass, I don't care. I'm going to buy it. So even though I keep trying to show, like, hey, there's other games here that you might want to play, it's like, no, it always comes back to Power Wash Simulator. So I think it's funny. I mean, it's good. You find a game, it's your niche, go for it, It's one of those games I didn't think would be her jam, but yet, like, no, she will actively just sit there and, like, just methodically go through a map to 100% completion. It's a wild thing to watch. So, but I think we'll wrap it up there. I guess I'll end with just a tiny bit of travel stuff. So we're getting close to our 60 days. Let's see. Today is the 7th. So yes, once we hit July 15th, so by the end of this week, we should be roughly at 60 days before we head out on our Carnival cruise. So that's going to be fun. I will be, hopefully, I've kind of mentioned it with, oh gosh, I can't think of his name right now, but he does a lot of Carnival content, Ruben, and I can't think of his channel name right now. I apologize immensely. I'm driving, obviously can't look it up. I'm like been talking to you guys since I passed like Vineyard on the 60, and now I'm here at the 215, 91, 60 interchange in Riverside. So been chatting for a bit. Travel's been good though. Traffic's been good. Um, anyways, I want to say it's like Reuben sandwich something, but I apologize. I will put it in the notes below. What his link to his channel is, but he's going to be on the same cruise we're on, and I kind of threw it out there like, hey, I'm kind of new in this space from a travel perspective, but I would love to do like a collaborative thing. If we could just jump on and we could talk shop. Me as a non-seasoned cruise traveler, especially Carnival traveler, we could like sit down and just do some rough content. We'll set up a couple cameras. We'll double mic. And that way we can kind of have the same content and put it up on our channels respectively. It would be kind of awesome. And yeah, it's really neat to do some like actual on ship content with somebody else. So we already had our last cruise where like people actually did recognize us and subscribed and all that kind of cool stuff. Like it was really funny being called out by some people. It's like, whoa, that's cool. And yeah, so the goal right now is to we'll do some content there, cross collab, and create some neat content with that, hopefully. It's a short cruise. I know I've mentioned this multiple times, but just reminding people, it will not be like the Virgin thing. It will not take as much time, and editing it should be a lot quicker, just from a standpoint of, hey, it's a lot less content. The goal for me is to get this posted, maybe by the middle of October at the latest for the entire trip. So it's going to kind of be the same thing. I might do a little more. I try not to make the videos too long, but it was weird. My wife was actually kind of like, oh, we need to do bigger videos because there's so much that we cut down or we didn't record and all that. I was like, it was really funny. I appreciate it, honey. Don't take it wrong way. But I really was excited that she kind of got into the whole recording and making content stuff. So, yeah. So, I'm looking at that moving forward, and maybe I'll basically create more video and then maybe compress it over or cut it into multiple videos for a day, depending on how long it is. So hey, try to keep it in an hour at a max, because I don't like the videos getting too long, because there are people that'll turn off of them. But there are times when that content's really justified. Like we had a lot of good stuff for Puerto Rico. I didn't want to cut any of that. We had a lot of good stuff for our embarkation day. I didn't want to cut a lot of that content. So a lot of it stayed in there. I did cut down a lot of our filming in Gumbay just because it was a lot of, there was a lot of just eating and that kind of stuff, not a lot of discussion. But I tried to, when we were talking about stuff, and just to kind of give you the vibe and the idea of what it was like. But yeah, we created a lot. I was like, hey, if you want to record more content, let's do it. Let's really bulk these things out. So there is a chance that the videos get broken down by maybe we break out the ship stuff versus the excursion stuff, or the off-ship stuff, and we'll separate those. But yeah, we'll see. But the reason this came up was because when we talked about Japan, my wife was just like, no, we need to have way more content for Japan. And I was like, wow, I didn't expect that to come up. But she's like, yeah, look at all the stuff we didn't record that could have been in there, or forgot to bring the camera, or forgot to bring a mic, or this, that, and the other. And it was like, oh, wow, I I was like, wow, I was really surprised because my wife is normally a very introverted, very shy person. So to bring that up, it's like, wow, okay. So I can definitely tell you with Japan, that will be a thing where, God, I'll be charging my batteries on the fly just to try to record everything that we need to record. You will probably see phone and all kinds of coverage coming together to just kind of try to keep up with the demands of the day. So, yeah, we will have a lot of content for that one, especially, like I said, with the missus on board. We will definitely have a ton of content from Japan that will get recorded. Those may be like, hey, day 1, part 1, day 1, part 2 kind of thing. And trying to make 12 hours of a flight sound interesting. That we probably won't record a bunch of, but enough that I want people to get the idea of, hey, it's a long flight. You need to plan for this. So, yeah, with that, we're going to go ahead and close it out for today. It's a little shorter than last week. I've been trying to keep these under 20 minutes. I did not do that today. So, but yes, that'll do it. We will see you next week with one of these. Make sure you're watching all the streams and shorts and all that good content that's coming out. And we will start probably not as long-winded ahead as I did with the other one, but you will probably see some prep videos a month beforehand for the upcoming stream, or for the upcoming trip. So be prepared to see those. But yes, till next time, thanks everybody for watching. Have a great afternoon, evening, wherever you're at. We will see you next time. Bye.